Easter, Easter, gotta get something Easter. Everybody's looking forward to the candy, candy. Hey guys, happy Easter. Or, if you're like me, happy Sunday where people inexplicably give me candy. Here you go. Hey, are you the real Easter Bunny? Shit, kid. Ho, 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 and all that jazz. Wait, isn't that Christmas? It is. Well, I better hop on down to the North Pole and carve some shamrocks into those pumpkins. What drugs are you on? The best, kid. Want some? I don't do drugs, sorry. You're lost, kid. Well, anyways, I'm headed down to the track. See ya! Weird. Anyway, candy! Yeah! Yeah! Uh-oh. Oh no. No! No! Oh! Drake of the 99 Dragons is so bad that gamers stay away from it at nearly all costs. It was released in 2003 by Idol Effects and Majesco, and they had hoped that it would become a massive hit and launch a successful franchise of comics. Little did they realize that only spending a whopping 5 months programming this would result in, you guessed it, a terrible game which no one would ever play in their right minds. Speaking of which, I should really get into the right frame of mind for this. Excuse me. There we go. Now don't you worry, little guy. I'll take good care of you. I'll go down here. Don't worry. I'll avenge you. So the game starts with Drake. Seriously? That's Drake? Wow! He looks like the Deadeye version of Batman from the animated series. Or someone melted a Guy Fawkes mask and then stretched it over Jay Leno's face. Alright, I digress. You play as Drake, a very skilled assassin for the 99 Dragons clan. You can tell he has mad skills because he thinks this is how to look intense with pistols. I've seen more intimidating gunplay from my cats. He also pretends that he's cool enough to have his own inner monologue.
Most people I meet, I only meet once.
Or, I'm assuming it's inner monologue, seeing as his lips don't actually move when he's talking. Then again, the lip syncing for everyone barely exists at all. And some characters don't even have lips to speak with. Anyway, a TV commercial comes on with an ad for the main villain's cybernetic company. How do we know he's the villain? Because he's in the game manual looking like a slightly Chinese Tim Curry. Oh, and speaking of which, take a guess how this character sounds. Keep in mind that this game is supposed to take place in Hong Kong. I bet you never even think that the main villain, Tang, sounds like...
Has someone close to you recently departed? Tang Industries pay families to donate the bodies of their departed loved one.
That's right, Colonel Sanders. And actually, none of the characters in this game sound like what you'd expect. Tang sounds like Colonel Sanders. The Dojo Master sounds like Eric Idle faking a southern accent.
Can't be Tang's doing alone. He must have aid from beyond this world.
And Drake sounds like Seth MacFarlane doing Stan from American Dad on Quaaludes.
My skills are sufficient, but pale when compared to my master's.
So one of the cyborgs from the TV commercial entered a room and attacks you. What the? How in the... Just let me... I just wanna... Yes, that's right. I died 4 times in a tutorial fight. That's because the controls are so awkward and unpredictable that it makes doing anything a major hassle. This game really wants to play like a normal third-person shooter. It's so close, but it misses the mark. Both triggers fire your weapon, left stick to move, and right stick for the camera control and aiming. But one of the main problems is that the camera flings itself around like a drunken acrobat and is in constant conflict with the game environment that makes it near impossible to aim or even look at what you need to shoot at. I finally killed a cyborg by running around in a circle and firing non-stop. Beautiful. Then Drake realizes something about the cyborg that he doesn't expect.
A machine. Yet I sensed presence inside it. A soul?
Yes, Drake, a soul. Not too hard to fathom really when you think about it, because it's a cyborg. Even the TV ad says they take the bodies of your loved ones and put them inside these robots. Or did you just phase that out because...
More commercial.
Yes, that. So now Drake hears something else happening in the dojo.
Oh, what was that? Intruders in the penthouse of the 99 Dragons clan? You must be out of this world to get past our guards. I must see to the master and the soul portal artifact. Rumors say Tang is hunting for it. It was given to our clan over 3,000 years ago. We've guarded it since, and we're not going to lose it now.
That's a lot of exposition to give all in the span of 5 seconds, and it's so clumsily rushed that it feels more like Drake is a history professor rather than a character you're supposed to identify with. So Drake bursts through the door, shooting everyone. I said shooting everyone! Or just look at people and not fire a weapon, that's good too. Okay, then let me reiterate. Drake bursts in, looks at everyone with a mean look like he's pooping himself, and then everyone falls down dead. That's better. Now we get to run around shooting things, which sounds awesome, except this game makes that prospect a nightmare. As you can see, there's no real aiming, but a vague auto-aim feature. And when I say auto-aim, I mean a tiny white circle appears at targets that you're looking at, and then Drake may or may not shoot at them. From what I could tell, the game automatically tries to target the closest enemy regardless of if you can actually see them or not. Like here, I ran through a door and his spaghetti arms are still pointing at enemies on the upper level, even though there's walls in the way. The goal here is to chase after this phantom dude who made off with the
soul portal artifact.
Yes, that. And once we catch up to him, or actually just go to the room where he decided to stop and take a coffee break or something, the phantom escapes through the window and Drake is left to find out that everyone else in the dojo is dead, including himself, somehow. Then we see Drake freak out with a little flashback of getting his tattoo and how the tattoo is able to bring him back to life or something. I can't even fathom this. And I have a few problems with this. So let's take it point by point, shall we? 1. If Drake was given this magical tattoo by his master, why the hell doesn't anyone else have this tattoo? Then they could all pop back to life and revenge everyone. 2. The tattoo didn't actually activate until he realized he was dead, so how was he able to kill anything with ghost bullets and whatnot? 3. Getting ahead of where we actually are, but virtually everyone already knows, later it's revealed that Drake gets new avatars. How is he able to get one without going through the proper channels? And 4, there was no lead-up saying that this was a possibility. No prophecy, no great white ninja, no crazy old dude on the corner shouting obscene predictions, which is odd considering earlier he pooped out a ton, so from a narrative perspective, this makes no damn sense. Well, I think that's enough nitpickery for now, don't you think? And if I keep on going, this video will never end, and I have much better games to play than this. So now we have a few new game mechanics to play with, such as collecting souls to regain health, and running on walls for short periods, which right now serves little purpose, but is required more later on. It's more of a pain because you stay up just short of what you'd expect, and the camera jostles about while the game tries to figure out what you just did. We can also slow time, awesome! Except, no, it's not. When you freeze time, you also slow down, and that only seems to allow you to aim slightly better, which, if you recall, is terrible auto-aiming which may or may not work, so it's useless. And Drake can even stop time, but it also includes himself, so that's the stupidest. Speaking of useless abilities, Drake also has the ability to pull souls toward him or explode them for an area effect damage, except that these abilities don't work at all, period. It's like if I went through all the trouble of making a nice picture of me riding a shark with lasers coming out my eyes, and I'm waving a flag of a skink wearing a crown, and all that it turned out to be was this. So back to the story. Drake collects enough souls and...
The strength of the stolen souls is changing me. Have I become invincible?
Okay, watch out, Drake. I know another invincible guy, and it didn't turn out well for him.
Yes! I am invincible!
And what do you know? Drake jumps through the window and dies.
Invincibility can really make people do stupid things. Ooh, shiny. So what happens now that Drake is dead for a second time?
Yes, the Serene Garden, or as I like to call it, the Mulan ripoff place of Disney copyright cease and desist list. Okay, I guess there's enough differences, like the Guardians are statues. Wait, that's also Mulan. Oh, I got it. No George Takei. There, saved it. Any dang way, the Guardians tell Drake that he's like a chosen one because of the tattoo or something, and that he needs to retrieve the Soul Portal artifact. And without much more explaining, thank George, Drake gets a new avatar and comes back to life. Now it's time to chase after a dude who the Phantom passed off the artifact to. Why the Phantom couldn't directly deliver it himself is beyond me, but hey, what? So I'm chasing this dude, sort of. Got turned around a few times on these stairwells. Drake moves a bit too fast and controls too slippy to be able to handle stairs of all things. So I get to a spot where I'm instructed to jump down, and when I do it, death.
And welcome to the absolute most infamous part of this game. If you aren't already familiar with this, then you will associate this following scene with Drake and 99 Dragons forever.
You suffer through a loading screen, and then you appear at the Serene Garden with a 10-second countdown timer, all while being roasted by the Guardians for how idiotic you are for dying.
We have no time for cat and mouse games.
This time, we are not amused.
He is truly abusing the avatar body we have granted him.
Hey, if it was easy to not die, then I wouldn't need this undying dragon tattoo. Then you get another loading screen, and then you get to start the mission again, from the beginning of course. What, did you expect there'd be checkpoints? Come on, this is Drake and the 99 Dragons.
And believe it or not, this game is actually way ahead of its time with this Serene Garden. What, you don't believe me? You dare not take me at my words? Well, check this shit out.
Just look at this scene. The only thing missing is... there we go. Ads. Terrible and non-skippable ads.
And just when you thought that mobile games couldn't get any worse, now you could think that they got inspiration from Drake and the 99 Dragons. You can never unsee this. Ever.
And of course this happens every time you die, which really takes you out of whatever zone you may have been in while playing. It's like if you were doing a jigsaw puzzle and every time you don't get a piece in, someone binds your hands and covers your eyes for 30 seconds before you could try to place another piece.
That by itself would deter most anyone with any common sense from playing this game any further.
And the worst part is, this is only mission 5. There's 25 missions total, and this game makes you suffer through the whole thing, because this game is broken and buggier than Oogie Boogie.
So for your viewing pleasure, here's a small list of bugs I encountered while playing this game.
Let's see, there's the fire truck driving backwards, Drake running through the floor to gain traction, guns shooting through the walls, this dude is missing some textures, getting stuck on stairs and then walking above the railing, a boss I killed stood back up, an even bossier dude got stuck in fire and junk, incidentally making him invincible, wall running on an enemy, corpses on hooks spontaneously disappear, game froze fighting this other boss, a frozen dude who won't die, and my personal favorite, flying up like Superman as if he were a Matrix original character and then getting stuck.
And let it be known, I don't try to find bugs. These are the bugs that were just most prevalent to me on my normal playthrough of the game.
Getting back to the story, Drake continues to chase the courier dude into a warehouse. When we get to this room, I kill the dudes and then I figure you have to reach this one door up on the next level, right? Well, surprise! The room explodes, killing you and ending the mission.
Just as well, but how many times has Drake died now? 3? Dude, this guy dies more than Daniel Jackson from Stargate.
So after getting a pep talk from the Guardians and a new avatar, Drake breaks into a rival clan's base.
House of the Dreaming Cloud, I'm your wake-up call.
Okay, cool. Keep looking for that courier dude, Drake. I mean, this is only the third mission chasing this dude. This mission doesn't even serve a real purpose in the story either. And actually, a lot of the missions feel like this. Instead of having a narrative and missions supporting the said narrative, we're treated with short action-filled missions that only serve the purpose of padding the game out.
So in the interest of moving things along, here's a condensed version of the story.
After killing the boss of the
House of the Dreaming Cloud?
yeah, that, Drake goes to a casino where he catches the courier. Then 2 street levels. Back to the Dreaming Cloud house, where he explodes and dies.
Okay, this is ridiculous. I'm changing what I said earlier. Move aside, Daniel Jackson. This guy dies more than Sean Bean in almost any movie that Sean Bean is in.
Then we see a dude with an eye patch take the soul portal artifact off our dead body and... Wait. What? How did... But it was right. I guess when we talked to the courier, he might have put it in Drake's coat pocket without him knowing, which is understandable considering that his coat pockets must be filled with guns, because if you haven't noticed, Drake doesn't reload his guns. When they run out of ammo, he just drops the gun, pulls out 2 new guns, and then keeps firing.
Like a badass?
Anyway, Eye Patch Dude gets away, and Drake goes to another warehouse. Then he finally catches up to the Eye Patch Dude and then gets killed off by a lady assassin. Lady assassin?
Drake dies more than Kenny from frickin' South Park.
The Guardians explain that their powers are drained and decide to put Drake back into his original body. And what's wrong with this? Well, how about having fatal gunshot wounds all on his back? No chance of bleeding out here. Drake already looks like a vampire with the face of Andros from Star Fox, so no blood left to bleed wouldn't be too out of the ordinary. Anyway, Drake chases after dudes stealing the bodies of his clanmates.
Oh, and this is where I mastered the absolute best strategy for playing this game. See, all you gotta do is take your controller and go, and just like this, just keep pressing buttons and stuff and just rocking the pads around. If you're not playing it like this, you're playing it wrong.
Jumping about wildly and shooting is the literal best way to dispatch larger groups of enemies because even if they aren't on screen, you automatically aim at them and hit them. It shouldn't work by any means, but it does, which means that 3-year-olds can play this game as well as any other gamer. Then there's the Cyborg Factory. This is where the story actually starts coming together, sort of. The bad guys put Drake's master's body in a cyborg, Drake fights it, wins, then takes his master's body to the Serene Garden for safekeeping, I guess. Then Drake sneaks into Tang's hideout. Oh yeah, Tang. Remember him? Yeah, I barely do, so... He has the Soul Portal artifact now, and he plans to use it to gain unlimited access to souls for his machine so he can take over the world. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, and to make things worse, the Phantom Dude from the beginning is with Tang when he uses the artifact to open the portal.
Which means that for all intents and purposes, the whole game up to this point of Cat and Mouse Quest is completely pointless!
There really wasn't any need to pass off this artifact. This guy can phase through matter and fly. Why not just take it directly to Tang with no trail for Drake to follow? It makes no sense!
But then there wouldn't be those 15 missions in the game. Good.
So now there's like a big demon thing to fight, but for the longest time it was stuck inside the portal and wouldn't fight me until I spontaneously decided to. Okay, then the Phantom takes the artifact into the Spirit Realm and then Drake follows suit. The Spirit Realm is an underground platforming nightmare with orcs, and it's dumb. After like 2 levels of platforming for no real reason, we get to fight the Phantom pain in the ass here. The game says you can only damage him when in freeze time mode, which I completely forgot about honestly, but that is a lie. The game doesn't have any such requirement. You can kill him simply by shooting him over and over again. And now Drake has the artifact and has to bounce around picking up fragments of his master's soul or something. But the main point is, all that's left is the final boss.
And this boss is quite possibly the worst boss I've ever had to face. Not because he's particularly hard or anything, but because everything wrong with Drake and the 99 Dragons manifests at this point.
Most of my attempts only lasted like 5 to 10 seconds, and the boss whips you around like a ragdoll. But what I think the worst offense here is, right here. You see those souls floating up? Yeah, this boss would be way more manageable if the soul-sucking power or the soul-exploding power worked, but instead, you get to suffer with trial and error until those stars line up and you manage to shoot all 3 heads enough.
Funny story, I actually spent like 2 hours fighting this boss, and when I finally beat it, my hard drive was full and stopped recording. So that meant that I had to beat the boss twice. Wait, that's not so much funny as it is sad.
So with the game beat, Drake goes back to the Serene Garden, revives his master, and they lived happily ever after.
Or do they?
So I guess this is the end?
Hardly. It has just begun.
No, it ended forever. And it flopped so hard that it left a smoking crater where it landed.
If the game fixed its bugs and broken mechanics, focused more on the story than the senseless action, and made the main character more likable, I could have seen this game as a decent third-person shooter. But as it stands, this is definitely the most brokenly worst game I have ever played. Yeah, it's beatable, but the game is so unsatisfying that beating it leaves you hollow and regretful.
So regretful that if I ever see that Easter Bunny again... Did someone say my name? You! Yeah? Bastard! Yeah? Why did you give me this? Well, I thought you'd like it. What? No! Well, okay then. See ya! Wait. Yeah? Get him, Simba. Ah! So for anyone wanting to play this game, let this be a warning.